I 29M fell really ill on a night out with 28FGF and now doubting her as a partner?
Okay, I'll try to keep this as concise as possible. I went to a party with my GF and all the whole night went really well. Everyone was enjoying themselves with no issues. However, when we left the venue and began waiting for a cab home, I immediately began to feel incredibly unwell, which is weird because we had been standing outside the venue chatting to friends for nearly 30 minutes and my last drink was nearly 45 minutes ago. I started to throw up and began to lose my ability to even stand up, like literally falling hard. Every time I tried to get up, I was really concerned as this had happened all of a sudden, and I asked my GF to call an ambulance because I felt something was really wrong. I blacked out and the next thing I remember was managing barely to find my feet, and for us to get into a cab we got home. I continued to throw up and then passed out again.
Waking up in the morning, I felt worse than I had ever felt, which was strange because I have 1000% had more to drink in the past and been fine. I started to rethink the evening and remembered all the drinks. I had 8 in total, 6 of which being glasses of champagne, but some things about the evening were not adding up. I decided to talk to my GF about it and see if they could fill in some of the gaps. Understandably, they were quite upset with how the evening ended. I apologized and said I really don't know how it happened, but it should never have happened and will not happen again. Anyway, when she fills me in on the evening and confirms everything I believed happened, I was 100% fine until about 45 minutes after leaving the venue.
This, however, is where my concern comes in. I asked her to fill me in on what happened when I began to lose control and pass out. I had assumed I had been unconscious for 3060 seconds. She let me know that I asked for an ambulance and would not stop vomiting. She chose to ignore this. And then, as I was struggling on the floor, told me to stop acting up and try to sleep it off. It was at this point she revealed to me I was unconscious in the street for 2 hours. And that she had been sat on her phone watching Netflix waiting for me to sleep it off, and revealed that she even considered going home and leaving me there. Honestly, I was so taken back I didn't even know how to respond, and as she was still angry at having to look after me in such a state, I didn't say anything. But now I am beginning to feel wrong done by. I acknowledge 100% that it is my responsibility to not get into that bad a state, but part of me feels like I may have been drugged. And if not, and I was just unfortunately too drunk, then I would hope that a partner of nearly 10 years would have a bit more concern for my well-being. Call an ambulance? Not watch a movie while I lay unconscious in my own vomit in the street? Not consider leaving me there to go home? Maybe I am overreacting, but I am concerned. I've been spiked before and had similar reactions to those you have described here. I'm really sorry if that's what happened to you. It's not a nice feeling. Your partner's lack of empathy is sad, and I'd be reaching similar conclusions to you, I think. Wow. This is utterly appalling. You literally could have died and she could not have cared less. Please leave her before the next time something even more serious arises and you do actually die. WTF. I'd be asking myself if she even likes you, because it sounds like she doesn't. It does sound like you were drugged somehow and ignoring your wishes for an ambulance and leaving you to lie on the street unconscious for 2 hours is negligent at best. You could have died. Face with symbols on mouth. You are not overreacting. If you were drugged, you could have died. If you choked on your vomit, you could have died. This is basic human decency. She's not safe. OMG. Does she have any empathy? Does she even like you? Have you ever seen a redder flag? You could have died. And she watched videos. Run. This is insane to me. I'd treat a stranger better than your longtime partner. When people show you who they are, listen. You are not wrong at all, and I would end things immediately. Can you imagine if the roles were reversed? That's definitely spiked, and it's common sense to call an ambulance. Break up and find an actual partner. This person nearly let you die. I had a family friend that died on her 21st B-Day BCUZ. Her friends wouldn't call 911 for fear of getting in trouble. That's bizarre. I wouldn't even leave a stranger passed out in his own vomit like that if they didn't have anyone else to help them, let alone my boyfriend. There is no way 8 glasses of champagne put you in that state. Drunk, yes, but not fall down and blackout for 2 hours. Did anything strange happen before you had the last drink? I suspect it was spiked. Did you swap with someone or take a drink meant for someone else? I get a blood sample and stomach contents checked. As for the GF, I don't know what to tell you. She clearly has zero empathy. It seems there is no love or concern for your welfare. I probably don't want to go through life with someone like that by your side. Although given actions, she probably would be by your side anyway. Good luck. That's awful. She probably assumed you were drunk. But it sounds like you were roofied. And in either case, she definitely should have called you an ambulance. I'm not a chemist or a doctor or anything like that, but it seems like you may have been dosed with GHB. It takes effect in around half an hour. So it might have been put in your final drink of the night. Especially if you've never been like this before. She should have been concerned. Back in 20,162,017, I was out with an ex-boyfriend who got really drunk. I know he wasn't spiked. He was just drinking everything in sight. He ended up passing out on a bench outside. I stayed with him for hours and I couldn't wake him or move him, and I was scared and worried and called an ambulance, and I slept on a chair in the hospital until the morning when they let me see him, and he was absolutely fine. Concern is normal. How can you be so indifferent if she cares? Crying. She might know more about the spiked drink. Doesn't add that she was so calm with you passed out. Sounds like you were drugged. Your GF exhibited no empathy and a total lack of responsibility for your situation. You could have died. You should be done with the relationship. That's bad. Dude, it sounds like you were drugged and it could have been more serious. Get out of this relationship ASAP. She does not care about your well-being. OMG, I'm emotional today, but the idea of my BF in the street for 2 hours unconscious brings tears to my eyes. That is so scary, especially because of the timing of your drinks. I would be worried you had been drugged or were having a stroke or something. There could have been so much wrong, and things could have been so much worse than they were. I would also be doubting her as a partner. Even when drunk, that is insanely selfish and not okay. You could have died and she was sitting right next to you watching Netflix? WTF. Dude, you were drugged. And she failed the girlfriend test. It happened to my ex-BF. He nearly got chalked on his own vomit. I did everything I could. Got really scared and called an ambulance. Couldn't not imagine not being scared or not doing a thing. My GF got roofied at a club a couple months back and had a very similar story to the one you shared. Luckily I was there and whisked her off to home where she recovered. Had to take care of her while she was unconscious vomiting for hours on hours, and she recalled feeling awful the next day as if all her limbs were numb. Your GF's behavior is appalling. Sounds like someone spiked your drink as you were heading out the door.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Haircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.